Has FAU somersaulted over a lot of other teams as like your most aggravating fan base?
Oh, easily. They just think they are so elite because they made this one run. You won this one fluky ass game where there were 6 or 7 different calls. Everyone were up in arms about, like, what are we talking about? And it's not like a thing where they're like, hey, Memphis, great game. You guys are great competitors. I can't wait to see what the future holds between us. Because if they said that, I would respect them. I don't respect FAU fans. I don't.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Choosing the right sports betting platform can be tricky, as most mobile sports betting apps come with limited betting options and customization, delayed cash out and withdrawal times, and tedious customer support, and no true loyalty program with continuous rewards even after signing up. All of this leads to a frustrating, one-sided experience. So, how do you find the one which suits you best? Introducing Zensports. It combines the best of both worlds, a traditional sports book and a cutting-edge peer-to-peer marketplace. Zensports allows you to accept bets against the house, or use our peer-to-peer marketplace to create your own one-of-a-kind bet and set your own odds without the need for a bookmaker. At Zensports, you get more betting options and a cashback rewards through our unique welcome bonus, continuous loyalty program every month, and referral rewards delivered directly into your account. So what are you waiting for? Download the Zensports app today at zensports.com.
Welcome to Bluff City Bets, a Bluff City Media podcast. Join Daniel Greer and Chase Bobbitt as they give their plays of the day and strategies for success as a sports bettor. Now, let's get to the show.
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Bluff City Bets, where I try to make you just a teeny tiny little bit smarter, but I'm going to make your cash go a lot farther. I promise you that. That's my promise to you here at Bluff City Bets. I am your host, Daniel Greer, and at Bluff City Bets, we are a proud partner of Bluff City Media, all things Memphis all the time. So make sure you tune in to this YouTube where you're watching these shows and this show where you're making money with me. Make sure you're tuning into the other shows, because if you like Memphis sports, we're the place for you. I promise that as well. Let's go ahead and get into our week 3. We're going to have a recap real quick. Okay. I've given you 5 plays both weeks, right? Week 1, week 2. And we went 2 and 3, and we're getting hammered by the hook. The hook is stupid. I hate it. I'm so done with it. But if you're paying attention in our Discord, then you're making money. I know that for a fact, because I am making money. I started out my month not doing so hot. And now, since then, I was down, I want to say 17 units in the first week. It was a bad first week for me of the month in general. But since then, I just looked up last night, and after we absolutely crushed Thursday night football, I went 5-0. 5-0. One of those was baseball. I'll share a little bit of a baseball bet that I love. I don't know if this will come out in time, but you know what? I'll give it to you anyway, in case we can get this show out to you in time on this beautiful Friday. But before we get there, before we do anything else, let me tell you about our presenting sponsor, and that is Zensports. Zensports makes betting fun. It's making betting easy too. All you have to do is go in there and check out the app, download the app, and use the code BLUFFC when you sign up. What you're going to do is you're going to get 5% cash back for the first 15 days when you play. Everything you play, 5% straight cash, homie. All right. So after that, you can get up to 3% cash back first of the month. Guess what? It's the 22nd right now. We're getting closing in on the first of the month. And with that being said, everything that I'm spending there, I can potentially get up to 3% cash back just for playing. But then we want you to tell your friends so everybody can enjoy Zensports. And when you do that, you can get 5% cash back for everything they spend in their first 6 months. It's huge. I promise. I tell my friends to join. I have friends that join, and I am cashing in with them. Don't tell Bluff City Bets. but I've told some friends. But you can be our friend and start us off because you heard it here first and use the code BluffC and you'll get your 5% cash back for the first 15 days for everything you play. So don't tell your broke friends, not your broke friends. Tell your friends that got some money that they're going to play and make sure they play with Zensports. All right. So today's show, I've talked about it before, and I know that I've said that we're going to go ahead and sweep. Well, I sweep Thursday. It was one baseball play. I think it was a plus 390. Okay. It was honestly almost done by the third inning. If you didn't play, that means you're not in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, what are you doing? But after that, I went 4-0 on my plays. I hit on CMC. I hit on Mitchell, the running back. I also had 2 props in there for tackles and assists. And since we've last spoke, I have now formulated my model that I do within tackles and assists. Not many people are doing tackles and assists. At the very end of this show, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who to fade and then who to follow. Okay. I'm going to give you teams to fade. So if you're looking at tackles and assists, maybe go under on those, depending on what the number is. I can't tell you because honestly, these come out late Friday night, sometimes Saturday into Sunday morning when these lines come out because they're late arriving. They're not what everybody's playing. But because they're not what everybody's playing, I want to be on the forefront of that because I want to be the guy who can control a little bit of where the actual number is going. So I think we got, I can't remember who it was, Dre Greenlaw for the 49ers. We got him at minus 105, under 8.5 tackles and assists. Well, the number completely moved to under 7.5 tackles and assists before the game started. And so we already got one there, right? A whole number that moved. And then he literally only got up to 5. It was a sweat free. And the other guy that we had was one of my favorites is Bobby Okereke for the Giants. He's now their main guy playing 100% of their snaps. He ended with 9, and I had him at over 7.5 or minus 135. So I promise you, if you're in the Discord, join us. If you don't know how to hit the Discord, just hit us up in the DMs, and I promise you, over at Bluff City Bets, over on the X at Bluff City Bets, you can just shoot us over a DM, and we'll make sure you get in there for free. We're trying to make that free for all the Bluff City Bets. All right, so today I have 8 plays. Don't tell anybody. This is probably not the smartest thing to do, but I have 8 plays because they're my favorite plays, and I have plenty of more. So join us over in the Discord. But I have 8 plays, and I'm going to give you 3 college football, 5 NFL, plus some leans. Don't forget about my leans. There's more there. All right, let's go ahead and get into the show. And the first one I have is Florida State money line. It's minus 125. I think you can get this over at Caesar Sportsbook. It is awesome. Minus 125 for a money line for a team that is 4th ranked in the country going into Clemson. And Clemson, honestly, they're not good. They already got beat by Duke, and they have not played well in general. They played 2 subpar teams the last 2 weeks. They haven't shown me anything, and they are not the team that they used to be, especially at home. I know that Boston College pretty much gave it a little bit to Florida State, but Florida State was up 31-10. The game probably had a chance of not even starting, not even playing because of the weather that was going on there. Florida State at Clemson, I expect them to win. The line's at -2, -2.5. I'm not going to worry about the number. I just want to get a money line win. I'm fine paying a little bit of the juice at minus 125. Go ahead and hit this now. Florida State money line right now. All right, the other game I'm going to hit on is the Liberty. This team has been cashing all year. They have not scored under 32 points the entire season. They've scored 32, 33 or more in every single game. I expect them to score again at over 31.5 the total team. Very easy line. Looking at this, they have done this, but also FIU, they allowed 39 points to North Texas at home this season. North Texas is not that great. Liberty is better than North Texas. Some people might disagree. Either way, they're somewhat the same team. They scored 39. I expect Liberty to score 40 here. All right, let's go to the next one, and that is New Mexico at UMass. These teams stink. They're not good. They're not good. They're just plain out not good. This is simple for me. under 49.5. I don't think both of these teams can score 20 plus points. Okay. I just don't think that. I don't see a scenario where both teams score 20 or more points. So that means both these teams not being very good. I just think that there's nobody going to hit the 30 number. So if you don't hit the 30 number and the other team doesn't hit the 20 number, I feel confident with my math. I think we're going to get there under 49.5 and get this minus 110. All right. That's the college football plays. That's all I got. Not a big college football guy. So let's go ahead and get into the NFL plays. All right. We're going to go ahead and get into the NFL. But before we get into our NFL plays, let me tell you about our friends at Zensports one more time. Zensports is the place to play, especially here in Tennessee. 5% cash back for the first 15 days that you play. Spend your money and make some money back. That's what you can do by just signing up and using the code BluffC. Up to 3% cash back at the first of every month for everything that you played. And then tell your friend, be a friend. It's easy. First 6 months, that's simple, man. First 6 months, you get 5% cash back. Easy money. All you have to do is play. So when you're spending your money with these other books, they're kind of giving you some free bets here and there. They might give you some boost. Well, they're giving you your money back by just playing. So get your Target red card, your Zensports red card here, and get your 5% cash back. Go ahead and sign up today if you haven't already and use the code BluffC. All right, let's go ahead and get into our plays. And the first one I'm going to lead us off with is Nico Collins at the Houston Texans. Over 53.5 receiving yards. It's at minus 115. All right, Jacksonville has allowed 256.5 passing yards between the first two games that they played so far. All right, that's what they're averaging. The two games that Nico has played is 80. He's had 80-yard game, and then he's had a 146-yard game last week. Nico Collins is the number one receiver to CJ Stroud. Well, why are we still getting this number? Okay, and let me tell you why. Stroud is questionable. He's going to play. He's almost at 100%. But what he is he's a rookie, and they're going to want to try to limit his snaps during practice. And so, yes, it's a shoulder injury. They're trying to just monitor it. It's just probably something that's lingering that he doesn't want to always get all these reps in during practice. What they want to do is keep him fresh and healthy for the games. And that's what they're doing. So don't be scared of Nico Collins not having a quarterback to throw to him that has thrown to him. Literally, Stroud went off last week, and I expect him to play well against a Jacksonville defense that has been okay. They haven't been great. I expect them to be good again here with the Texans. So I'm going to go Nico Collins over 53.5 receiving yards. All right, this is a game that worries me a little bit. There's supposed to be some wind, some rain, some storms possibly coming in, a little bit of the hurricane aftermath. But what I always know is that the tight end is the quarterback's friend. He's the safety blanket. Hunter Henry has gone over this in both games. He's actually gone over this in 4 straight to the last 2 games of last season when he's just kind of really just getting implemented and within that team. But now, with Mac Jones, I just feel comfortable with being a guy who really, Bill Belichick loves to lean on his tight ends within his offense. And so Hunter Henry going over 31.5 receiving yards. I like this. I don't see there's a scenario where no matter how much rain or wind, if the game isn't postponed or delayed, somehow they're going to play. And if they're playing, you don't need many yards to get to 32 yards, right? You need maybe 4 catches, 8 to 10 yards. And I feel confident that we're going to get here very easily with a guy like Hunter Henry. And so we're going to go ahead and lean on him. He's had now back-to-back weeks of 50-plus receiving yard games, of 56 and a 52. And then he had both games. He's had six receptions and 7 receptions last week. And so I feel confident. I'm going to keep rolling with Hunter Henry. We have now pretty much every game this season, just like we had Nico Collins. And so these 2 guys are guys that I'm looking for as soon as their props come out, looking to hit them. All right. These are some guys that I have not played. Okay. And that's why I want to go ahead and hit on them, because they also have some leans with them. So these next 3 plays all have leans with them. And the first one's Jared Goff, over 271.5 passing yards at minus 105. And the reason is is if you look at this team that they're playing, they are, let's see, Jared Goff has been a better quarterback at home overall. Okay. And so I expect him, with the model giving me a number of 326.5 passing yards. I'm going to go ahead and ride that. But also, if you look at this team, the Falcons, they have not played away from home yet. This is their first road game, and they're going back into a dome, right? So they can feel comfortable still. But what I think is you're going to have a team that is kind of young still. And they played against two quarterbacks, Love and Bryce Young, who are both very young, both pretty much rookie quarterbacks, if you look at it like that. And so this will be the first time they played against somebody who has, an offense in the style that wants to throw the ball a little bit more and is the best offense that they're going to play so far this season. And they're going on the road. Let me go ahead and take a Jared Goff over 271.5 passing yards with a good number of -105. My lean on this one, and one I've actually played, but I don't want to give it out as an official play because I hate doubling up on the same games. But it's going to be Josh Reynolds for over 43.5 receiving yards. The number I have on him with the model is 70.3. He's averaging 73 yards this season. Okay. So we're only needing 44 yards against a team who, in the Falcons, like I said, they played two rookie quarterbacks pretty much so far. They're now going on the road. I know they haven't allowed many passing yards on the season. I still think that they're going to go ahead and give it to them. So I'm going to go ahead and ride Goff here. Because I'm riding Goff, I'm going to go ahead and ride Reynolds as well. All right, let's go ahead and go into our next game. This is a Monday night game, so a little out of the order. I apologize. I just noticed that. But we're going to go with Mike Evans over 54.5 receiving yards at -115. And it's very, very simple for me. Mike Evans, he's been very good this year. But if you don't believe that and you're worried about, I wonder what the model is saying. And he's going against Darius Slay with the Eagles. Well, the model says he's going to get 97.5 receiving yards. That's a big spread. 97.5, 54.5. I'm going to go ahead and ride that model play. But then you're thinking, man, Darius Slay, the number one, cornerback that's going to be going up against Mike Evans more than likely. Well, Justin Jefferson just last week went off for 159 yards receiving against this same guy who kind of he will pass off the player sometimes, but most of the time he's going to also mirror. And so he's going to be on them a lot, but we're not asking for a ton of yards. We're talking about a 20 to 25 yard catch and then a few 10 to 15 yard catches here and there. I just think that this offense with Tampa Bay, they're going to throw it because of that front line for the Eagles. They're not going to be able to rush as much as they want to. So they're going to be throwing the ball. And so that's why I like this. It's a simple play for me. And it's hard not to back this. And so I'm going to go ahead and ride Mike Evans over 54.5 receiving yards. And the other play I got is going to be on Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin has been a player who has been a reception machine. I'm trying to pull it up right now, exactly his number, so I can give them to you. But let's pull it up 1 second. I'm looking at his receptions. Chris Godwin, okay. 5.5 receptions is his number. I like it for the simple fact that I just think he will be a possession receiver in this actual game. And so you're getting plus odds over 5.5 receptions for Chris Godwin at plus 120. It's a lean for me. I haven't played it yet, but it's something I want y'all to pay attention to because last year he crushed us. In the first two games, he's had 5 receptions in each game. I just think that if you're looking at a guy who really could jump up and bump up and grab that extra reception, I think it's against a team who has a strong front line. And I'm going to go ahead and keep looking at this and try to dive into the number. It's going to be Chris Godwin over 5.5 receptions. All right, this is our last play, and it's going to be Tony Pollard over 13.5 rushing attempts. It's -115. This play has been slowly coming out. I have seen it come out, and right when it came out, I hit it immediately, but then it disappeared. And as of recording right now, it has gone. And so I'm going to give you the number that I got because I think that's why it's going to eventually come back. I'm not exactly sure what the hesitation is on why it disappeared off of all the books. But it did pop up. I did hit it for over 13.5 rushing attempts at -115. My number in the model has this at 17. And so even if it does come over at 14.5, it's still the same odds. I still like this because I think that, if you look at the two games, I think that he was able to get 14 rushing attempts. And then last year, I think he went off for like 20 plus, right? So it was a crazy amount. And so I'm going to go ahead and ride Tony Pollard over his rushing attempts over a play that I also love. The model has this. The model has Tony Pollard over 70.5 rushing yards. It actually has it at 112. 112 is what the model says. So 70.5 rushing yards is what Tony Pollard is currently on the books. You can find it right now. Go ahead and hit that. I like that play. I'm going to be playing both of these. My favorite of the two would be the rushing yards. I think you have to get 14 plus rushing attempts to be able to get to 70 plus yards. And within these two games this year, he's had games of 70 and 72. I just think the Cardinals have been playing well. Okay. But you're about to face a team that is one of the best defenses they're going to be facing all year. The time of possession should help with the Cowboys here in this matchup. And so this isn't a Giants team that they were beating really bad that they allowed to come back. This is a Cowboys team whose defense is really good. They're going to control the possession time. And so I just think we're going to see a lot of what we saw on Thursday night with the possession clock with the Cowboys. But we're going to see that kind of like the San Francisco 49ers and the Giants just had. I just think that's what they're going to rely on. If you saw CMC, we cashed with him going over his number as well. So we're going to ride the same thing with Tony Pollard here. His rushing attempts over 13.5 and then his yards over 70.5. All right. This is the fade and follow section. This is the tackles and assist. Real quick, let me give you some teams that we want to fade. So if you have guys that you like that are tackle and assist guys, and those are your favorite, be careful in these games. These games are the ones you have to monitor because the reason is they're not a great offensive team, or if they are a great offensive team, it's because they're hitting big plays, okay? And a big play team is Miami and Cincinnati, okay? These two teams are all about big plays, and they're going to vary so much. So I would completely fade trying to go over tackles and assists with them for the simple fact that Miami had a game of tackles and assists allowed in their game. A game of 45 and a game of 61. And then Cincinnati, a game of 51 and 53. They're both averaging right at 52, 53 for tackles allowed in these games. That makes me nervous. And so with the low number, I want to fade them because they're not a team that worries about possession and time of possession and keeping the ball and meticulously going down the field. Those are the teams you want to stay away from. And look at, if you see a big number, maybe go under it. I'm going to go ahead and give you three other teams. The number one team to fade 100% always is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders. They had a game of 54 and a game of 42 tackles and assists allowed. 42. That is crazy. There's other teams that are doing 80 plus. Okay. That's who we want to actually target. The Jets are a team. First week, 64. Last week, 38 against the Cowboys. Okay. Maybe with this Cowboys team, we want to look at these good defenses, staying away from them and fading them on their big numbers, just like we did Dre Greenlaw. But then also the Steelers, they had a game of 59 and 45, an average of 52. That's just not big numbers for me. Okay. So we want to fade them. All right. These are the teams that I like and teams that I want to make sure that I'm looking at their numbers week over week, seeing how consistent they are. The number one consistent team has been Cleveland. Even though they just lost Chubb, I believe they're going to ride. I believe his name is Ford, the running back there. Each week they've had tackles and assists allowed is 80 each week. So they are moving the ball, not big chunk plays. And then Houston, a game of 80 and 72 of average of 76. The Rams and the Chargers, both, they're averaging 78 and 79. And then Philly had a huge game of 97 last week, and then the first week was 66. So I want to kind of monitor and see how they are doing. Are they going to be more of a possession team, or are they going to try to see if they can run the ball more with their quarterback? And honestly, you're still getting tackles and assists, but it's just a different style. Okay, so you got to be careful of that. Tampa Bay, who I love to go after. Tampa Bay is a team, 79.5 is their average. I think the only one I didn't give you was New Orleans, who's a team I like, and then also Buffalo. So if you have people that you're targeting for tackles and assists going against any of those teams, go ahead and hit them now, because those are going to be matchups that you want to play. All right, let's go ahead and look at the 5 guys that I'm going to target. I've also already put out one, Demario Davis under 8.5. It's already moved down to 7.5, so we can't play that anymore. But if you do see Demario Davis, I think he's for New Orleans, you can go ahead and play him, but on his under. Let's look at Zaire Franklin, who's leading the league in tackles and assists at 30. Zaire is going against the Ravens, a team that likes to run, a team that does like the big passes. But I believe that you can go ahead and dial up Zaire Franklin. He's just a man, dude. And I think that with him averaging 30, leading the way, you're going to get a number of 7.5. It's a must hit. Even against a bad team, I just think he gets 21.5% of the tackles on his team. That's how much he averages for his percentage of his team is 21.5. So Zaire Franklin, either 7.5 or over 8.5. And then Bobby Wagner for the Seahawks. Looks like the Seahawks this week, they're going against the Panthers. Okay, the Panthers are not an awesome team, but they're also a team that they've averaged 68. And so you can look at the Panthers, and target them, because at an average of 68, Bobby Wagner has been, just kind of a renaissance this year early on. Cameron Bynum with Minnesota. Minnesota is taking on the Chargers. Chargers are a big play team, but they also move the ball down the field with their short receiver. So when you have a receiver coming out, you're going to have a linebacker. And so Cameron Bynum with Minnesota, go ahead and target him for over 7.5 for sure. And then this is my last one, and I finally figured out how to say his name, and that is Foye Sade. Aluakun. There we go. I memorized his last name. So it's Foye Aluakun. That's it. Foye Aluakun. He is going against the Texans. And as I just told you, the Texans, they average, I think it was right at 76. So 76 plays. Foye Aluakun is who we're going to target as well. So as soon as these lines come out, make sure you hit them. All right. That's our show. I know I gave you a lot of information. I know I gave you 8 official plays. I'm hoping I can come back next week. And let's say we go 8-0. That would be amazing. But let's say we go like 6-2, 5-3. It's still profitable. I want to give you as many plays as I could this week, because I think it's very important to give you my full board as we come into the show. I will have more plays. We're trying to make sure we lean on the model just a little bit more. So if you are somebody who likes to trust the number, go ahead and stay tuned for us. We're going to have more plays for you in the Discord. And so that's all we have. It's been awesome. It's been completely filled with information. If you like anything that you see, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to our channel. But also, it's kind of like wiping your feet when you walk in. Go ahead and hit the like button on this show. It helps us put us into a better algorithm. So everybody that likes shows like you like will find this show as well. So that's all we have. Let's go ahead and keep cashing the weekend.
Thank you for listening to Bluff City Bets. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.
It's hard to poke a hole in this roster. I mean, it's weird saying that in August, but just looking at the spread of it, the way it's worked out and come together, and what the staff has done, once again, flowers are deserved.
Isn't it like if you're poking a hole, it's all kind of more abstract thoughts.
Absolutely.
Like how are they going to gel? If you're just talking roles, they have every role filled.
Yep, we won't know that for months.
Yeah.
So instead of harping on that, some people are going to get fired up about that now. Like just looking at what's built and where this could potentially go is pretty cool.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
A show over in New Zealand, radio host had Pete Pranica, of all people, on his show. And the guy was saying that a friend of his who's close to Steven Adams said that the Grizzlies kind of mishandled something with his surgery, that he needed surgery the whole time. They said that he didn't. They prolonged it, and then he actually got surgery, and now he's rehabbing from that.
Yeah, they use the word misdiagnosed.
Yeah, that's a strong word. The Grizzlies don't give clear information about stuff, and it leaves room for interpretation.
Right.
And my interpretation is that this story sounds real. Now, I'm not saying this story is true, but it's true-ish. That sounds more realistic than anything the Grizzlies were saying.
When you leave things up for speculation,
Hey, that's what happens. Guys like me just put
guys
two
like
and
that
two
New
together.
Zealand radio guy,
New Zealand
can say
radio
that.
dude, they come out and say, hey,
And I know-
my partner said Steven Adams was way more messed up than y'all thought he was.
And not only that,
Yeah.
y'all misdiagnosed that man.
Misdiagnosed. Strong words, man.
Woo.
Strong words.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.